Hello and welcome. I'm Mr. Hutchings, and this is Mr. Hutchings History. Today I'm presenting topic 5.2 Nationalism and Revolutions from 1750 to 1900, supporting the AP World History Modern program. Our AP themes today will be governance, cultural developments and interactions, and social interactions and organization. Our historical reasoning skills will be causation, comparison, and continuity and change over time. In the late 18th and 19th centuries, Enlightenment ideas stopped being theoretical. These Enlightenment ideas entered the streets, the battlefield, and the courtroom. Across the Atlantic world, people began to argue that governments existed to serve the people, and that shared identity, rather than inherited loyalty to kings or empires, should define political belonging. This shift gave rise to revolutions and to a powerful new force, nationalism. Nationalism did not always mean democracy. It did not always mean equality, but it did mean change. Today's episode asks a central historical question. What caused nationalist and revolutionary movements between 1750 and 1900, and what were their effects? Nationalism is the belief that people who share a common identity, language, culture, history, or religion should govern themselves. Before 1750, most people lived in empires, not nations. Loyalty was owed to dynasties, not the people. Borders shifted through marriage or war, not popular will. Nationalism changed this model. Nationalism suggested that political legitimacy came from the nation itself, not from kings, not from emperors, and not from colonial powers. This idea of nationalism directly connects to the theme of governance. Why would nationalism be especially threatening to empires? Because empires ruled diverse populations. Nationalism encouraged groups within empires to demand independence, weakening imperial authority. The American Revolution was one of the first major political revolutions inspired by Enlightenment thought. Colonists in British North America were influenced by ideas of natural rights and representative government. Economically, they resisted British mercantilism. Politically, they had grown accustomed to self rule through colonial legislatures. Distance from Britain mattered. So did identity. When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, he drew directly on John Locke's ideas of natural rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The result was not just independence, but a new model of government based on constitutional principles. Why did Enlightenment ideas resonate so strongly in the American colonies? Because colonialists already practiced local self government, Enlightenment ideas gave philosophical justification to political habits that already existed in the British colonies of North America. In France, revolutionary ideas took a more radical and unstable path. The slogan Liberty, Equality, Fraternity captured Enlightenment ideals, but France faced severe economic crisis. Debt from wars, unequal taxation, and food shortages pushed the monarchy toward collapse. When the Estates General failed to reform the system, commoners formed the National Assembly. The storming of the Bastille symbolized the rejection of absolute monarchy. Early reforms abolished feudalism and declared universal rights. But resistance from French elites and foreign threats to France radicalized the French Revolution. The Reign of Terror followed, showing that revolutionary nationalism could turn violent. Why did the French Revolution become more radical than the American Revolution? Because France faced deeper social inequality and deeper economic crisis. Revolution unfolded internally, not against a distant imperial power in the revolution in France. The Haitian Revolution offers a powerful contrast. Enslaved Africans and Maroons in the French colony of Saint Domingue used Enlightenment language of rights to demand freedom, but they did so from the lowest social position imaginable. Under the leadership of Toussaint Louverture, formerly enslaved people defeated the French, Spanish, and British forces. Haiti became the first independent black led state and the only nation born from a successful slave revolution. The Haiti Revolution terrified slaveholding societies worldwide and exposed the limits of Enlightenment universalism. Why did other revolutionary governments hesitate to support Haiti? Because Haiti challenged racial hierarchy and challenged slavery itself. Supporting Haiti threatened existing power structures elsewhere in the world. In Latin America, nationalist revolutions were largely led by Creoles, people of European descent, but who were born in the Americas. Inspired by Enlightenment ideas and frustrated by mercantilism and political exclusion, Creoles sought independence from Spain and Portugal. Leaders like Simon Bolivar imagined republics based on liberty and equality, but fear of mass uprisings shaped outcomes. After independence, power remained concentrated among the elites in Latin America. Indigenous people, enslaved Africans, and women gained little political voice. This illustrates a key historical pattern. National independence does not automatically mean social equality. Nationalism also reshaped regions far beyond Europe and the Americas. In New Zealand, Maori tribes developed a shared sense of identity while resisting British land seizure. Though defeated, Maori nationalism emerged through resistance. In the Philippines, educated elites exposed to Enlightenment ideas formed the propaganda movement. The execution of Jose Rizal helped spark armed revolution against Spanish rule in the Philippines. In the Balkans, nationalist movements grew as Ottoman power declined. Greeks, Serbs, Bulgarians, and others drew on language, religion, and shared history to demand independence from the Ottomans, often with European support. Why did nationalism spread globally in the 19th century? Because Enlightenment ideas traveled through education, empire, and trade. As empires weakened, local identities became political tools. Nationalism could also unite rather than divide. In Italy and Germany, leaders used nationalism strategically. Figures like Cavour and Bismarck combined Enlightenment language with realpolitik, practical, sometimes ruthless politics. Wars, diplomacy, and manipulation produced unified states of Germany by 1871 and of Italy. But these successes also intensified rivalry and militarism in Europe. By the late 19th century, Nationalism had become both a creative and a destructive force. Topic 5.2 shows that nationalism and revolution were not uniform. Nationalism and revolution both emerged from Enlightenment ideas, took different forms depending on social structure, and produced uneven outcomes. This topic reinforces core AP skills: causation, why revolutions occurred; comparison, how outcomes differed; and finally, continuity and change, what improved and what remained unequal. Nationalism promised dignity, self rule, and participation. Sometimes it delivered, sometimes it replaced one hierarchy with another. Between 1750 and 1900, nationalism reshaped the political world, but it did not solve inequality, nor did it solve violence, and it did not solve exclusion. Understanding nationalism means understanding both its power and its limits. Why does nationalism inspire hope in some moments and fear in others? Because it can unite people around shared identity, but it can also exclude those who do not fit that identity. I'm Mr. Hutchings, and you've been listening to Mr. Hutchings History. Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. And as always, continue to study history because it matters.